What's the haps? I'm John, aka Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. And I don't normally shoot, do I? No one use sword. Whoopsie. And this is Pixel. Say hi, Pixel. Pixel. Pixel's antisocial. We know this by now. So, today we're in Dark Titan Tier 3, not on Elite, because that was a very, very silly thing to do last week, and I should not have done that. So, this week we're going for Easy Mode, because that I can do. And those appear to be undead. I don't know why I thought this was a beast level. Whoops. I suppose I got my voltage. That would probably, I guess, do the job. That'll work, right? Although, actually, Blitz Needle's pretty good against undead as well. So, we're on episode 42. Don't panic, guys. Don't panic. It's episode 42. That's a very nice number. I like that number a lot. So, button mash the event. How about that? That's like less than a month away now. And just thinking about that's making me stressed. The amount of work I've got to do for that I haven't really started doing. That's just not good, man. It's not good. Got lots of marketing to do. Need to make sure people actually know that this is a thing that is happening. What else we gotta do? Oh, Kickstarter rewards. Gotta make rewards for everyone. I made some t-shirts over the weekend, or well, a t-shirt. I made a couple of t-shirts lately. They're kind of cool. Got a rather nice StarCraft one that I've done with a Zerg emblem on it. I don't play StarCraft. I have never played. Ow, that was lag. It's gotta be lag. I've never played StarCraft, but I don't know. It's just a really nice design. I made a cool t-shirt out of it. I'm wearing the hell out of that. I used to have a, well, I do still have a Charizard t-shirt, but it was kind of on orange and it looked really pale. By the way, I make my t-shirts sort of by putting a stencil on them and then bleaching the stencil, and it fades out the bits that aren't covered by the stencil, and it creates a really cool effect. That's how I make t-shirts, by the way. Yeah, it's a cool little hobby to have. I can elaborate more if that's a thing people want to know about, but I don't know. I'm no expert on the matter. I just think it's fun to do. So yeah, I've done a new Charizard one on a red t-shirt this time, and it looks, well, I over bleached it and it's bled, and it's the t-shirt. The design's good, but the shirt itself is actually pretty poor, which is unfortunate. So yeah, I need to offer those up to people now as actual rewards. Now that I've got some actual designs I'm happy with, and I hope everybody else is going to be happy with. If everybody turns around and says, "Oh, those all look awful," well, ugh, don't know what. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm terrified it might. So yeah, I'm going to be going stressed and crazy about that over the next month. Ooh, one thing I didn't point out last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it would have been last week. The day before the last episode, and I didn't realize until the day that the episode went out, was actually that was actually the anniversary, my 1-year anniversary of doing YouTube. I know a lot of people have, someone at some point went back and found the first episode of Spiel and assumed that that was the first thing I did. Nope. I was at it for like 2-3 months before I even started doing this. I was doing Minecraft back then, just because Minecraft was the thing everybody was doing and I wanted to do it as well, and my videos are awful. Although, that said, someone else did comment on my very, very first video earlier this week saying, "Oh, this is a really good series, I'd like to see more of this." I'm like, really? That's the first video I did. I mean, great that it's a mod that you wanted to see, but I wouldn't say the video was good. Hey ho, I think that's a new subscriber. Hi, guy who likes Mistcraft, if you're watching. Good to have you on board. That's excellent. So, Spiral Knights news. How about that? Some Spiral Knights news. There isn't any. Do I put the jingle in if there isn't any? There's a bit of mediocre discussion. There was a patch last Thursday. Was it Thursday? I think it would have been Thursday. That, yeah, that was something or nothing. They increased the spawn rate of black cats. And hey, I might even run into some today, who knows, because there appear to be cats here. So they could be replaced with black cats, and then I would get some pages that I'm not interested in. So if you're trying to get those, by the time this video goes live, I think it's going to be too late, or there might be a couple of hours left on the timer. So if you still have pages, go get. You ain't got much time. If you're not after pages, great. Chill out with the rest of us. That's a big one. I'm gonna have a big one. So, oh, there was also a post on the Spiral Knights Facebook page, which wasn't really news. It was just someone else's video that they'd done a short little animation. I think it sounded like they made it out of Game Maker. Which is an interesting way to go about doing something like that. But basically, the gist was, I want that pill, thank you. The gist was that they'd tried to work out the orbit of Cradle. It was all presented as though it was like super scientific, or the way everyone was talking about it was as though it was super scientific, and you know what, I don't think it was. It's like, am I looking at the same animation as everyone else? Everyone else going, oh, this is really good, this is really detailed, it's quite good, I think that's probably pretty accurate. I'm looking at it, it's like, what are we looking at here? That doesn't look very accurate. Go check it out it's on their Facebook page. It's the Cradle's orbit, and the way it works, they'd set it so it was elliptical and was at its furthest away from the sun twice a year, which obviously denotes Winterfest when it goes all snowy, and that's winter. So the orbit has 2 winters. Why it wouldn't just have one like Earth does, I don't know. I think they're assuming because it's, I suppose in theory, cold everywhere on the planet. It must be due to it being further away from the sun, as opposed to being tilted away from the sun, like Earth. So that might be where that comes from. There was also, yeah, again, I don't quite get why it had to be 2. I mean, it doesn't snow everywhere during Winterfest. I mean, it just snows in Cradle, right? Not Cradle Haven, sorry. How is that supposed to? Oh, I throw it to that one. Duh. That's how that works. I'm stupid. They also added a moon to it, which had an orbital period of half of a Cradle year, which I guess is 1 Earth year. Where that figure comes from, I'm not sure. I mean, I wasn't even particularly aware that Cradle had a moon. It's not often you see Cradle because we kind of stood on it and looking down into it. I mean, if I stand here, I can see down into the center of the planet, but we don't see up. But they have recently added a nice little picture to the loading screen of the game, or at least the title screen, which shows Cradle in the background, and there is a moon going around it, so that's that. Yeah, I guess there is one. How anyone would derive an actual orbital period from that, I don't know. I think the way it was implied was that the moon's orbital period coincided with... It was behind the planet when facing the sun, or during the dark harvest, because then that's a lunar eclipse or something. Ow, shouldn't have stepped on the spikes, whoops. And I don't see why Halloween denotes a lunar eclipse. Halloween very frequently is not on a lunar eclipse. Halloween tends to be on a fairly fixed date, as opposed to, you know, derived from any kind of lunar cycle. So where that theory comes from, I don't know. It sort of seems a bit pseudoscience-y to me. Someone just making stuff up, I'm afraid. He claims to be an astronomer and is like, oh, he must be doing it right, but I don't think he was. I genuinely think that was just bad science. Sorry. I'd say I know he's clearly put a lot of effort into making it, but it just didn't look right to me. Why would it all the events happen once a year, why would it not have the same orbital period as the Earth? Why would it just not be, you know, Earth Mark II? I'm a good shot, by the way. I can hit this thing. God damn it! Get back here and get shot, man. There we go. And you. So that's all the interesting things from the Spiral Knights blog this week. No actual anything really relevant to the game. There is. I'm gonna trawl through my archives of questions now, because I still have the big to-do list, the master inbox, if you will. And Sky Scythe, you remember Sky Scythe from the guild preview thing? He gave me a whole bunch of questions ages ago. I think I've answered like maybe one of them, and it's about time I made a little bit more headway through that. So there's one of them that he asked, which was, what would happen if during the invention of cars let me hit this guy and then I'll stop and read. We put more thought and research into batteries than gasoline as a source of power. Well, we would have better electric cars, I would have said, would probably be the obvious answer to that one. I suspect you wanted a little bit more detailed answer than that. So there is an old joke that used to go around the internet, sort of, you probably got it from... Ooh. Strange lag. Maybe that means that's time to delete a load of stuff off my hard drive again. That shouldn't be happening. I'm badly in need of new hard drives, I really am at this stage. So there was an old joke that used to go around the internet that you probably received from like your grandparents, and it had been forwarded to about 5 people beforehand. I know I certainly did get it at some stage, which was, what would happen if cars followed Moore's law? What if technology for cars accelerated as fast as technology did in the computing world? And supposedly a geek says, oh, cars would be 5 times more however many times, hundreds of times faster and far more efficient, and you'd be getting like 500 miles to the gallon. And then, the car manufacturer turns around and says, but yes, the car would also break down 5 times a day, and you'd have to get out, open all the you'd have to close all the windows, get out, turn the car off, get back in, and then open all the windows again to make it work. And it's like, very good, Windows joke, I see. To be fair, I don't think that's been particularly accurate in a long time. Maybe Vista, but I think 7's quite reliable, in my humble opinion. I quite like 7 as an operating system. So, oh my god, how many of these little blighters are there? That is a ridiculous quantity of things I'm just going to run away from, actually. That's to it. No need dealing with these guys. Oh my god, then there's an arena. Is that an arena thing? There's an arena looking thing there. This is a very, very excessive quantity of bugs. Oh, I see. If I press the arena thing, it opens these doors, and then the poop hits the proverbial. Alright, fine. Let's open the poop gates. So yeah, that analogy, I think cars might probably not follow Moore's law. That's probably a little excessive, because Moore's law is excessive anyway, which is, if you're not familiar with that, it's the idea that technology doubles every 18 months, so it either gets twice as fast, or twice as powerful, or twice as cheap, or, some combination of the above. Technology roughly doubles once every 18 months, broadly speaking. If you look at how fast phones improve, and laptops and tablets and all that jazz, I don't know exactly how one would go about working it out specifically, but you're probably not far off the mark. I'll have them, thanks. I should be using my cats, shouldn't I? Why am I not using my cats? Because it doesn't work on any of those mobs, that's why I shouldn't be using my cat. I should be using a laser at least. Cat laser. Oh god! I expected them all to be over there, I didn't expect that one. There's him. He's the one I want dead, because he's going to be the most threatening, and you're out. So obviously the question is in regards to batteries, and I think if we did research batteries considerably more, it's entirely possible. Cars, again, probably wouldn't follow Moore's law, but they'd be considerably better than they are now. Might not get a car that gets double the mileage every 18 months, but it'd be pretty good. And yeah, like I say, most of the research these days is obviously, a lot of research goes into new tablets and phones and what have you. And as they get more powerful, guess what? They use more power. And we need bigger batteries. So there is a lot of research getting put into batteries at the moment. Not insofar as they're required for cars, but in other areas. The same batteries that get put in our cars are put in tablets and things. And I'm going to end up using an emergency revive. I know I am. Because, okay, I just spotted a load of Gorgos just pop up there, and that's going to be a big swarm of guys. Do you guys want to swarm over there? I'll just run through here and just make my goodbyes, if that's okay. Nope, Gorgos aren't going to let me make my goodbyes. I'm going to have to shoot them. Okay, so they're down. Everyone, go away. Keys. I'm just gonna. Do you wanna wait? Where are you going, Gorgo? Yeah, you're just gonna turn around and eat me, aren't you? I don't see them often enough to know their attack pattern. Fine, I'm just gonna freaking laser you. Right, no, sod it. No, out. No, you've got to be kidding me. There's another one? No, change that screen now. Change it. Why? What is it with me and you know, compounds? All I get is compounds. Feels like it anyway. I absolutely despise compounds. All I seem to get is compounds. So the Tesla Roadster is probably up there as one of your best electric cars at the moment. Possibly the best. I don't know. I don't follow cars particularly closely. I'm not a car fanatic. I used to watch a lot of Top Gear a few years ago whilst I was unemployed. Don't so much anymore because I spend most of my time watching YouTube instead. So yeah, this looks like it. This is exactly the same floor, isn't it? I'm just going through the same floor again. Ugh. Fine. Let's double check it is. If it's a different type of thing. Chittering Burrows versus Chittering Burrows. That's... yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, we're gonna change the weapons. Oh, and my armor, because that means I'm actually wearing the wrong armor, doesn't it? I equipped for beasties, and it is not beasties. So let's get a better gun. That means we can equip that as a sword. That should do us. I think that's equipment. That's something to hold off some flying bug monsters. So yeah, I used to watch a lot of Top Gear, and the Tesla Roadster is one of your top-notch electric cars these days. The two topics there are related because at one point Top Gear did take the Tesla Roadster out for a test drive, and then they got in a lot of trouble about it because they didn't do it. They didn't do it much credit, to be honest. They were pretty unfavorable about it. Basically, as far as anyone can make out, they straight up lied about it. Tesla kind of put devices in their car to monitor it, see how much energy and power it had, where it was in which stage of the journey, and Top Gear just sort of either didn't fill it up properly at each stage of the journey, or drove around a bit in one circumstance, I think, and just drained the battery down just so they could go, oh, electric cars, aren't electric cars awful? You shouldn't buy an electric car. Why don't you buy one of these turbocharged supercars instead? And yeah, that wasn't great, really. That was a pretty douche move on their part. So let's get rid of you because I want the pill. So the Roadster Eve is probably better than you may have been led to believe if you watch Top Gear at all. You may have been misled there. Basically, they showed it breaking down all over the place, and they had to stop and push it to the nearest town where there was a fuel station. It's like, oh yes, this car said it would make it to the next station, but it didn't even make it that far. It broke down 3 miles outside the town, and Tesla turned around and were like, look, we got the records. It didn't. You're just lying here. And Top Gear, of course, their usual defense is, well, it's a joke, it's entertainment. But when you're misrepresenting something that you're ostensibly reviewing at that stage, that's kind of not cool. As it's one thing to make their own electric car, which, by the way, it was quite entertaining when they made Jeff, the electric car. That was quite amusing. But they just packed it full of laptop batteries, which, to be fair, I think is all most of them are. Like I say, it's the same technology powering it. It's all lithium-ion batteries, the same thing that you'll find in your laptop or in your phone. So it is just a lot of laptop batteries, and I think that's all Top Gear did when they made their own electric car. They just jam-packed it full of laptop batteries. And that's where the research will drive us forward. I think if we had focused on laptops 20 years ago, our electric cars might be better these days. probably the long and the short of it, really. I mean, if you do your research, this, some people say, oh, it's dangerous, look, these electric cars, they can explode and catch fire, lithium-ion batteries, they're dangerous, and yeah, they can be, if they are mishandled. They are probably fairly explosive. I mean, I've got a buddy who, he runs his own business manufacturing electric bikes, which is quite cool, which is probably an even greener alternative to like a hybrid car or something. Just cycle everywhere and let the bike do all the work because it's electric. I know he commutes to work every day, 15 miles there and back, and the bike does a considerable amount of that work for him, which is cool. And if it went quite so far to my job, I would contemplate investing in the same. After all, I know a guy who knows how to make them, so that would be useful to know. But yeah, his house is full of electronics and gizmos and bike bits and things like that. And on a few occasions, I've sort of picked up or moved or held his battery for whatever reason. And every single time I get the, oh, be very careful with that. Oh, don't tip it up on its side. It's pretty much a bomb. It could go off with a moment's notice. I've got all this specialist equipment to regulate the power going into it because it's so explosive. And yeah, you probably do need specialist equipment to regulate the power going into it because it's so explosive. But this is new. This is something I haven't seen before. What happens if I shoot it? Get some hearts. These are robots that I can power up, but in like a, this is in like a, whatchamacallit, I can never remember what they're called. I can remember what they're called when I'm not in one, but I can never remember what they're called when I'm in one. Scenario room, that's it. It's a scenario room. Can these guys do anything? Ah. It'd be cool if it was a torture drone, but I've not seen that one before. That's a cool scenario room. So yeah, you obviously do need to regulate it, but if lithium ions were so dangerous, they could go off at a moment's notice with little provocation. You wouldn't be sticking them in your phone or your laptop, would you? They can't be quite that dangerous. As long as you got the right equipment for them, they're probably pretty okay. And lest we forget, how exactly does a combustion engine work? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was rather under the impression that that was powered by, and let's not beat about the bush here, it's powered by explosions. That's basically what it is. Your car is being propelled forward by explosions. There's no two ways about that, really. So, you have something that could explode if it goes wrong, or you could be propelled along by something that's exploding all the time, because that's how it works. Most things that have power in them tend to be dangerous because that is the nature of power. So it's just up to science and research and stuff to figure out how to... Ah, I see. I was supposed to... Hang on, I can still do this. Yeah, I can still do this. Should have shot that while I was coming across there. So, yeah, it has the potential to explode, but probably won't. And again, like I say, obviously technology doubles every 18 months, so it could become twice as safe within the next 18 months, or some combination of safer and cheaper and all that jazz. So, you know, Tesla Roadster came out in 2008, it would have been, and, well, we've had 5 years of development since then, so I imagine if you put today's batteries in a similar powered car, you could probably get a lot further on it. I'm not sold on the idea that it takes friggin' forever to charge up. Again, I think that's an issue that can be solved with research. The fact is, they say, oh, just take it to the nearest charge point and it'll be ready in half an hour. Well, yeah, but the fact is, if I were taking it to the petrol station to refill a petrol car, I would be filled in under 5 minutes. It wouldn't take half an hour to recharge. It's like, oh, it's half an hour to reach. Yeah, but that's like many times longer than any other charging. And this is getting a bit hectic. I need to just run away from things. Nope. Yep, the switch there. Move. Switch there. Nope. Okay. Over here. Oh, gun, get the gun, get the gun, get the gun. Yeah, there's a switch there. That's gonna be the last one, right? Is that the last one? Please tell me this last one. Yes! Haha! You suck it, you guys. You suck. You all suck. Suck it. Totally suck everything. Everything sucks. I should probably stop telling things to suck. I don't even want that money. They suck that much. I don't want that money. So the one thing that I always think's weird about it is that petrol you burn the petrol and that converts straight into energy, yes? But electric, in order to get the electric, you burn fuel to get the electric. So the car you put fuel in, it burns, turns it straight into energy. To get electric, you have to put it similar kind of energy related, same kind of thing, fossil fuels into nice graveyard. I was hoping for treasure room. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever, we'll go. Wrong shield, but it was the wrong shield for the last floor as well. So yeah, electric, you have to burn fossil fuels, and then that turns into electric. Yeah, electric, burn fossil fuels, turn that into electric. That's how that one goes down. And it's like there's different steps, more steps in the process. So that seems like that's less efficient. I mean, I've no idea about the relative efficiencies of an internal combustion engine to a electric generating turbine, but it just seems like the more steps you have in the process, the more energy is wasted in the system as heat and stuff, because no system is 100% efficient. There will be energy losses at each stage of the way, so that's not going to work for too long, because eventually we're still going to run out of fossil fuels, and then we're going to still have problems with electric, and we're not going to be able to charge up an electric car, so not maybe as eco-friendly as you might like to hope. There is, of course, the fact that, and this is really the notable difference, that you can have renewable resources for electric. You can use solar power, or wind power, or whatever. You use a whole variety of different types of power to power your electric to make an electric car. Oh. And I'm gonna have to deal with this guy because he's not fun. He's a nasty guy. Can you go away? I don't want to get cursed by him. So I think the main flaw in most technology in the world, to be quite honest, most things these days need power, and ever increasingly more so. And the problem is not researching the existing technology so that it's better, it's solving the energy crisis. And I think the main issue with much of the world is nobody seems particularly inclined to actually want to do that. I don't know why I'm breaking the green, it's big but useless. I want the red. So I think quite often you see these governments saying, oh yes, well we're looking at more improved methods of solving the energy crisis. And it's like, well, yes, but all your methods of solving the energy crisis are also methods of dramatically increasing global warming. Really, we want to be moving away from dependency on fossil fuels altogether. For example, the UK is suddenly doing this thing where I think America did this like a year, maybe 2 years ago, where they were like, oh, well, there's lots of fuel under us. All we need to do is use this really dangerous method that can pollute water streams called fracking. I mean, all it involves is pumping loads of water at really high pressures into fractures in the rock to explode the rock so that all the oil comes out. And, or gas, whatever it is, it's gas, isn't it? And everyone's like, no, that's a really awful idea. You should not do that. Why don't you continue working on solar technology? And then the government says, no, we'll go with the dangerous option because it's cheaper. But it's still a limited resource. You're still going to run out in however many years, 20, 30 years, and you're going to have spent 20, 30 more years having been burning fossil fuels. So global warming and climate change is going to be dramatically worse by then, and that's really not a good state of affairs, having spent 20, 30 more years ruining the climate, whilst also doing a dangerous method of getting fuel just because it was a bit cheaper. Doesn't seem that great. It's not really a wonderful trade-off. So we've got cheap fuel for 20 years, but then we don't have a planet. Where are you going to get the energy from when we don't have a planet, guys? Good call. So David Cameron is a frickin' idiot. and I don't think the American government seems to be much more clued in. So, honestly, I think hydrogen's not a bad way to go, but again, it is reliant on electric, because you need a lot of electric to turn water and water into hydrogen and oxygen. That's how that works. You pump a lot of electric through water and it turns into gases. Is a dramatic simplification of that. And then hydrogen is a very effective fuel for a car. So that's kind of good. And then everyone's like, oh, that's explosive. But so is petrol. So is lithium ions. Who cares? Everything's going to explode sooner or later. And that's the message of the day. Everything's going to explode sooner or later. Even you. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka. I've got a demon about to eat my face by the sounds of things. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you're not already. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.